Alright, welcome to my stream. So, this is the second attempt at this, because, one, this mic wasn't on, but this one was, and two, I displayed a drum pad that had my phone number on it, so I didn't want to get phone calls from anyone watching this after the fact, or live on Twitch. Alright, so, my wife is asleep in the other side of the house, and before she went to sleep, I was like, hey, do you want me to not drum? She's like, no, I got earplugs in and noise machines, so you'll be fine. And it is on the opposite side of the house, so yeah, she wouldn't be able to hear me, especially because I'm not playing with, like, the drum kit with normal heads and whatnot. We have the mesh, by the way, so it's quieter. Okay, so that led me to go, oh, wait, you know, it might be interesting to actually do a stream where I share, here's how I practice when I want to be quiet while practicing. So, for example, if you're in an apartment, and you got like neighbors above you, or if you have somebody like in the room next to you, like sleep or something like that, there are still ways that you can continue to work on your chops and your technique without actually having to be really noisy. And your neighbors and family will appreciate you learning some of those approaches. So I'm going to talk about them in my stream today. So in my stream, my goal is to share what it's like to be somebody who's been playing for over 20 years, but like how I specifically practice and refine my chops and technique. So you're going to see all the mistakes that I continue to make after having been playing for so long, and I will talk through them and even highlight them and say, hey, here's a thing that I messed up on, and here's what I'm doing to try and improve that. So I hope that these streams are helpful for you in learning how to improve your own playing by watching somebody who's been doing it potentially longer longer than you. Okay, so let's talk about the different methods that you might be able to use when practicing. So one, when you're playing with like one of these pads, they might be a little noisy. Okay, so what you could do is use a different type of pad. This does require some money. But these are some old school pads. I've had this one since high school. Okay, so this one has two different sides to it. That one is obviously a lot more articulate and louder, but on this side, it is much quieter. And I use this one when I'm actually like watching TV or something, or watching YouTube on the television. What I'll do is I'll just put this on like an old snare stand, and then I will practice along to it. Or practice along with this particular type of pad. Now, another thing that you could do that does cost some money is instead of using normal sticks, you can use the rubber tip sticks. So something like this. Whether you're playing on this type of pad or like an off-world pad, they are quieter. The only problem is they start to break at the tip right down here, and eventually like they'll fall off completely. So it's unfortunate. I haven't had any that have lasted for an extended period of time. They always end up breaking at some point. Oops, shouldn't do rim shots. Okay, so those are two methods that you can use if you want to like spend some money. However, let me show you some ways that you can do this without actually spending some money. Okay, put those sticks away. One, I'm assuming everybody has a towel. You can put a towel on your drum pad. This will damage the towel. It will make it not as soft and whatnot. But if you have like an old throwaway rag towel or something, you can use this. So depending on how many layers you put on your drum pad, it'll make it significantly quieter. So for example, here's what it sounds like normally. I'll play Float Flam Drags, just for reference. Okay, so same thing. Okay, so not significantly quieter. That's with one layer. But if you fold it in half, just kind of toss it over it, it's significantly quieter. Okay, and then if you fold it in half again, so now you got 4 layers on it. This really works your chops. So what I will end up doing, like if I'm practicing, like watching a movie on Netflix or something, what I'll do is I'll take this keyboard stand with the tenor on top of it, I'll put it out in the room with our TV, and I'll just throw like a beach towel over it, and then I'll just sit there and like work on crossover techniques or whatever while I'm practicing, I can watch a movie while doing that without annoying people. And fortunately, my wife is also a percussionist or drummer, so she is totally cool with me practicing while we watch something together. So that works out great. Now, another method that you can do without having to use a towel is you can actually just play quiet. This is harder than you'd think to play like really quiet, but it was something that I used to practice frequently. It's just like here how I crush those a little bit. So trying to develop the wrist control to be able to play really, really soft. Now, speaking of the wrist control, you can actually play with just wrists only, whether it's like knocking on a door like this. So I'm not using the fingers to roll, but I'm actually just knocking. And you can also do it like this. Ooh. That took a moment. See what I mean with the mistakes? Okay, so those are some different ways that you can practice. So you can practice quietly using the rubber sticks. You can use a different pad. You can put a towel over it. You can practice just playing soft, or you can practice with your wrists or your hands only. Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually warm up, and it'll be an abridged version of the warm up because I technically just did a stream and realized that the mic was not working. But only got about 10 minutes into it. Okay, so let's do this. So I'm going to go to my website, which is here, and let me put it in the chat on Twitch. And drum. Okay, so the section that I'm going to go to is the drumming content. There's like coding and gaming stuff as well, if you're also into that. But under the chops and technique, there's a bunch of different exercises on here. So the one that I'm going to do to warm up is diddle variations, and I'm going to do diddle on taps. Make this full screen. 1080, cool. Show more in the description, and then I'm going to go to 130 just to start, and then I'll just kind of like jump up. But I'm going to play with my wrist only. Not bad. It's almost like I've warmed up already. I got all the way to the part where I stretched and then was like, wait, that mic's not on. Wham, wham. All right, let's do this again. 140. Okay, now I'm going to do it on my chest. Okay. Itchy nose. Stop nose. You're on camera. Okay, so playing like this is great for working on your wrist control. I'm not doing fingers like this. It's all 100% doing wrist. One of the things that I used to also do is I'd play like this, so you can hear it. Or if you're doing traditional, you put your hand so it's hitting like this. That's just another way that you can do that. It hurts though. You kind of got to build up a tolerance for it, so don't do it too hard. Watch the accents. All right, let's speed her up. And I'm going to do a towel. Let's do 150. Two layers. Okay, Let's speed her up. I'll do 60, 70, 80, 90, and then 200. And then I'll stretch, massage after that. Okay. Cool. Actually, let's just jump right to 190 and 200 since I'm already warmed up. I'm not just going to fake it. Okay. Now I'm going to do it at 200, but instead of using the towel, I'm actually going to just play it quietly. So I'll show you the wrist control that it takes to play something like that. Try playing along. Yeah, so that's a fun one. Hopefully you played along. Okay. Let's stretch. This is about the point where I got to last time. All the mics on. Yay. It's already an improvement from earlier. Okay, so to stretch, what I'm going to do is hold my sticks in my palms, and I move one palm in and under, and then I follow with the other one. This gives a nice stretch on the forearms and on the wrists. To exit the stretch, all I do is just reverse that. Just go back the way I came. If you're doing traditional grip, you can rotate this way. Hiccup. Rotate the other direction. It's good for the rotary motion. I am not doing that today. So I'm going to stretch the underside of my forearm. So I'm just kind of giving it a nice gentle tug. Or I guess I should say a static hold. So I'm not doing jerky motions like this. Just holding it. I do see there are a couple viewers. Thank you for checking out the second version of this stream. If you do have questions, please let me know in the chat. If you're watching this live, if anyone's watching this live or after the fact on YouTube, I am happy to answer your questions in a future stream. So feel free to paste it in the chat or the comments section on YouTube. This should go live on Thursday. Okay, cool. So now that I've stretched the top side and the bottom side of the forearm, now I'm going to stretch the fingers. So I'm going to do finger to finger or thumb to thumb. And this gives a nice stretch along here. Index finger. The finger you don't say hello with. Ring finger. Back is sore. And a pinky. Okay, so after I've stretched, I like to massage. So I'm going to massage the top part of the forearm like I'm kneading dough. I'm going to use my thumb to loosen everything up. And I'm getting the underside as well. If I'm particularly tight, I might also massage the bicep, the tricep, the shoulder, the other seps. I don't know if there are other seps. I never took anatomy. Switch the arms. Oh, this one's a little tighter. Okay. and palm of the hand. So my fingers are massaging the backside, while my thumb is massaging the inside. And then we go bass to finger 2 times, at least 2. Sometimes 3 or 4 if your finger is particularly tight. I'm just kind of massaging while stretching it, pulling it out a little bit. Okay, switch to the other hand. And then bass the tip for each one of these fingers as well. By the way, if you like the shirt, I made it. It's using the 8-bit notes, 8-bit eighth notes behind me, and turn it into a mosaic. Because I'm that kind of a nerd. You can actually get your own on my website if you're interested in it. Okay. Cool. So my hands are now warm. And what I normally would do is do like a post warm-up where I push myself a little bit further. But I'm not going to do that right now because this is basically my second warm-up anyways. So I'm good to go. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how I would practice if I were practicing quietly. So let's go back to my site. And let's go back. We are in the chops and technique section. And today I'll actually work on some technique a little bit and some chop stuff. So let's do stick control variations. This is a good one to do, the advanced stick control with filler. This one's a hard one to do.
Your work can feel much smoother.
Wow. Thanks for the ad. I'm not monetized, so YouTube's making money. I'm not. Okay, so advanced stick control with filler. This is a really fun exercise to play, and it's just a great technique one to work on. Now, when you're trying to play this one soft, or especially if you have like the, almost a pillow, that's another way to practice, but a towel on top of your pad, then it makes it so that you really work your chops. So let's try this, and we'll do 100 to start. And I need to unmute it. Let's try 4 layers. We'll see how this goes. Helps if I show you the music. I'm really glad I got that foot pedal, so I can quickly do that. Switch between the different angles, cameras. Okay, let's try faster. Not 1 click faster, let's go 10 clicks faster. Yeah, with 4 layers, this is like all wrist. Not a lot of rebound. I like that you can do this and practice basically at full height. But let's try it without the towel, and let's just practice it quietly. This is all about the wrist control. Let's turn this down. Started to mess up the sticking there. Cool. Alright, so that is how you can practice doing this slow. Not slow, quiet. It's just working on it with a nice low height, or by practicing with a I almost said pillow, and then I was like, no, it's not a pillow, it's a towel, so it turned into a powel. Alright, so you can practice with a powel on top of your pad, and then that's a really good way to do it. Wow, this is 8 layers. There is no rebound. Look at that. Look at this. Boink. Just sticks right to it compared to that. Let's try it at that speed for fun. All about the wrist. Woo! It's hard. Started to fall off. Cool. Alright, so that's how I would work up stick control if I were practicing this, and I was trying to be quiet while doing it. Let's pick something else. Let's do diddle control stuff. So if I go back to my website, under the chops and technique, we scroll down. Let's do... I haven't done diddle timing in a while. I did some 5-stroke roll stuff, like some crossovers, so you can check out the playlist right here that shows that. Yeah, this one. 5-stroke interp with tenor crossovers. Check out that one if you want to see like how I work this up with some crossovers for the 5-stroke. But I'm going to do just normal diddle timing. Good, no add. And let's scroll down. Let's do 100. And let's try 4 layers. See how it goes. Oops. The 16th note diddles are going to be hard. Paradiddles. Yeah, so hopefully this helps you hear it with the pad. But I am articulating every one of those notes. Let's try it with the rubber tips. A little rushed on the first left diddle. Those were better. Okay, let's do it with wrist only. Diddle. Oops. I started to do the very last measure on the second to last measure. My bad. Cool. Okay, so this is sounding good, so I want to actually speed this up, but I'm going to try this and do it quiet. So let's do 110. So playing with normal sticks on a normal pad without a powell, just keeping it nice and low. You'll find that doing diddles after you've played on a powell, it's so much easier to control. I find that after I watch a movie and I'm playing on powell, that everything just feels so easy, because like you play with that thing and you have to do all the upstrokes, all the downstrokes, like everything about the stick motion is all wristed. You're not able to just like let it rebound and like, hey, come back up. I'm not gonna switch. So like this, I'm just doing one motion and it instantly bounces up. But as soon as you put like any kind of object that absorbs the impact, whew, you got to work so much harder with that upstroke. Okay, let's speed this up some more. Okay, we're going to try 120. And this time I'm going to wrist it, but do it this way. Now, the way you can actually practice is mentally. So visualize yourself playing it and try to make it as lifelike as possible. And it fires the same neurons. And it's been found to be like between 60 and 80% of effective as actually playing. It's on at least some of the studies. Oops, messed up the ending. On at least some of the studies that I've taken a look at it. So if you just mentally play and envision yourself, like feel it without actually moving your hands, it's almost as effective as actually practicing with your sticks. It's weird. It's pretty cool though. I used to do that in class all the time. I just sit there and practice in my head. Teachers thought I was paying attention. Oops, messed up. But I wasn't. I keep messing up that last measure. Alright, let's play it faster. We're going to play it faster, but I'm going to do it with the towel again. Let's try 2 layers. Cool. Woo! Went too far back. All right, so that was overall just fine. So now I want to do something else. So I've been working on technique stuff. So I was down here working on some of these. Each week I'm adding more. But now I want to actually do some chop stuff, because one of my favorite things to do, like with the towel or powell, is to specifically work on chops, because it just like really gets your hands going. Thank you, phone, for the reminder. Okay, so let's go to all chop exercises. And let's go with the classic Suzie.
Place your notebook.
Place my notebook with an ad. Skip the ad. All right, let's try 100. See how this goes. Let's try, just for the extra funsies, 4 layers on the towel. Really working the chops. That, by the way, is my ring making that sound. That little click. Whew. That really gets the chop going. Yeah. All right, I like that. Make this a little nicer. When I am practicing this way, I will often, to not like wear out a hole in one part of the towel, so I'll just kind of rotate it throughout the practice session. So that way, it lasts a bit longer without getting holes in it. See, look. See how it's like worn out along here? Not so much over here. Let's wear it out elsewhere. Okay, let's try this again. 110. 4 layers on the towel. This is not going to go well on the diddles, but it'll be fun. Let's try it quiet. arms are so sore. They're so tired. I should do chop out days with just this. They'll be Powell days. Intermission. All right, I want to try that again. Bad attack up. Oh, it's so hard. It's one of those things where, like, practicing quiet is one of those things where it's just like you don't realize how difficult it is until you actually try it. And it's just so hard to articulate whatever it is that you're working on. Really quiet dynamics. So if you haven't tried it, I highly recommend it. It's fun. Good challenge. Okay. Let's do a different exercise. Hiccup. We'll just work our way up. So these two are really good practice tools, but I am not going to demonstrate them. I demonstrated them in the stream yesterday. It was called like putting the cheese on the chut or something like that. Excuse me.
This is the world's first reusable cotton.
Wow, that sounds gross. Oh wow. Ew. Oh my. Ugh. I bet that felt good to get that out of the ear. Okay, well, on that note, Chicago Book Report. So this is a variation on Suzie that Bluecoats are now playing. This is a separate exercise, and they combined it with Suzie. And so this half of this exercise is in their Suzie variation. Okay, so let's do 100 again, and we'll do it with a towel. Four layers. This is the part that is in Suzie. The Bluecoats version. This is the part that's not. It's a Book Report version. Variation. I like it. Cool. Let's try speeding her up. Hopefully you're able to hear it well. I haven't tried to stream with a Powell or playing quietly, but at least this mic is working. Figure that out. Whew. Oh. Late. Let's try it quiet. Ooh, that's hard. Okay. Overall, fairly successful. So the cheeses you'll notice when I was doing it. We have our Chicagos. Ew. And they sounded fine. The inverts, a little weird to play those so quiet. But then when you cheese them, there's the tendency for them to raise up, so it's hard to keep them low. While you're doing it. So, that's a good challenge. Like, for instance, if you're marching, try your show music as quietly as possible. Do that with your section, whether you're playing on tenors and doing the sweeps, or you're playing it on snare or whatever. Just attempt it. It's fun. I would do that with the drum lines that I was part of. Like on breaks and whatnot, we would just like, all right, let's try the show music and let's just play it like super quiet. And it was really weird. It was hard for me to play traditional now. Also apparently hard for me to speak. Okay, let's go back to here. And we're going to go back up one more. So we're going to do the Blue Devils 99 shopping spree. And then we'll do 4210 shopping spree. Okay, so Blue Devils. And it's got another ad. Man, just bombarded with them on my own channel. Although I'm incognito, so maybe that's why I'm getting all the ads. Okay, so scroll down. Let's try 130, and I'm gonna wrist it. We'll see how that goes. I might regret that. Not bad, actually. A couple of mistakes, but overall better than I thought. Oops. Let's try this one quiet. Here we go. I almost did the rim shot at the end. Like, I was just like, oh, no, wait, no. Just do an accent. It was interesting that the paradiddle diddles and paradiddle on the last line were the worst part. So I'm doing a paradiddle diddle into a 3 paradiddles, and then I do the left off the left. So I'm basically repeating that little chunk. It's hard to play that so low and still have like an accent tap difference and whatnot. That's the part that's throwing me off. Okay, let's try this again faster, and we're going to do everything nice and low. Let's do 145. crushing those diddles. My left is. Cool. Let's do 160, because why not? And let's do it with a towel. Only 2 layers, though. Bing bong. Getting tired. Worn out. It's been a good chop exercise. You wouldn't think that when playing quiet. Especially on drum kit, people always talk about playing loud. Nah, play quiet, man. That's how you burn chops. At least doing something like this. I'm gonna get it. Maybe not. My left hand's like, no, stop, please, no more. Fine. We won't do any more of that. We'll do more of this instead. Haha! Hey, no ad. Yay! Okay, show more. By the way, every one of the videos on my website has timestamps in it, so you can just quickly jump to it. Different timestamp. Just trying to make your life easier when practicing. Okay, 4210. Shopping spree. Play this a few times, and it sounds like my wife is awake. Hear her downstairs. So I'm gonna go say hi to her. Normal flame drag, then cheese. All these are 4 counts. And you might be like, why is that important? Aren't shopping sprees almost always 4 counts? Wait till page 2. Invert. Cheese chut chut. Cheese invert. Chut cheese. Now 2 counts of the same thing. Cheese, flam 5, chutta chut, inverts, off the left, cheese invert, chut cheese, 1 count. And then you get rid of the check and do the 1 again at the end, and that's a 0. Okay, so because I like to chop out at the end of these practice with me sessions, I'm going to do this faster. Let's do 160, and I'm going to keep the towel on to really get the chops going. Let's get to a fresh side of the towel. Oops, hit my mic. Hit my other mic. Okay. So we're going to chop out with this. It's not going to sound great. That's okay. I'm intentionally going beyond what I can currently do. And I don't know if you can see it, but my veins are engorged right now with blood because they're like, hey, this is a lot of work. It's quite the exercise. Here we go. We'll try it without the towel after this, just for comparison. So hard. Ooh. Okay, now got it. It's too quiet. We'll pretend like my wife is still asleep. Whew. So you can get quieter. All right, cool. Well, was it not going to work? My pedal break? Fine. I just wanted to do a closeout. So, thank you for joining me. I see there are a couple people who are viewing on Twitch. Hopefully you're playing along. Hopefully you got something out of this. If you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, there are over 650 hours of drumming content on my website. That's just the play along side of things. There's also like a dozen or so of these practice with me sessions. Check them out. It's part me practicing, part clinic. So hopefully you learn how to practice and what to look for and some things that you can do to improve your own playing and whatnot. If you do like this content, please consider sharing with somebody else. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream, and I will talk to you later. I might be on tonight, but otherwise, I actually have tomorrow, Monday, off, so I'm probably going to stream again another drumming one. Maybe I'll do some drum kit or something. Haven't played that in like 2 months. So anyways, I'm rambling. Thanks for stopping by. I'm combining words again. It's a time to end the stream. So anyways, thanks.